It's Rock on the Range Live. From your rock station, 99.7 The Blitz.
2, 1. Hey, it's Hales for your rock station, 99.7 The Blitz, out here at Rock on the Range with one of my favorite early stage bands that performed very first thing after all of the rain delays today.
Oh, yeah.
Got AJ from Fire from the Gods. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? I'm chilling. Where are you guys located?
We are right here in Columbus. We are
oh,
the hometown
word. Okay,
station.
wicked. Up the crew, man. What's up?
Yeah, so we're the reason this happens. I'm kidding, but you know. But yeah, so
what's
you guys.
going on, Hales? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You guys crushed it today.
Thank you so much.
Of course, the rain delay pushed everything back. How did that feel for you guys being the first band on the stage?
Normally it's like, okay, you're playing at 11:45, so whatever nerves you got going on or whatever is like racking your brain, that's got to go by 11:30.
Yep.
But when it's like delay, then you're like, oh. Then we went to the back, started eating food. I had a couple beers, and it's like, now we're playing. Then they're like, oh, you got to get back to the stage at 2:30. Oh, but it was cool. It was great. I love being in the presence and ambiance of heavy music and metal heads. Hanging out back here and seeing all the bands that I love and meeting people is cool, but just seeing all those people out there that just love music and love heavy music just for the sake that it's heavy music. They're not here with any sort of attitude. They're not here with any hang-ups. That really kind of gets me going, and I love it. It gets me juiced.
And this is the best community for it. Like Rangers here at Rock on the Range, we wait all year for this.
Yes.
And Columbus completely turns around when this happens here.
Oh, yeah.
So to be able to have all of these amazing bands from rock and metal and everything in between as far as this genre goes is super cool.
Awesome.
And I know that everybody loved you guys. I was there side stage for you guys watching you kill your set today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As I mentioned before when you sat down, I've been telling everybody on the air, I'm like, check out Fire from the Gods. They're so good.
Dope.
And I also host the metal show, so I've been spinning stuff off of Narrative. So tell me a bit about Narrative, the deluxe edition that you guys put out. Retold, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Narrative
that was skipping me, but.
So, man, when we first recorded Narrative, we worked with a guy called David Bendith, and
he's awesome.
Yeah, Bendith is the man. Bendith kind of brought something out of me that I didn't even know was there. Something that I thought was there and wanted to be there, but couldn't really find it.
Yeah.
He found it, and I, owe him a debt of gratitude. But he had just got finished working with Of Mice and Men, and they had done the deluxe version of the Broken Cycle record that they did, I believe it was called, and Restoring Force.
Yep.
And Full Circle, excuse me, that's what it was. Full Circle, Restoring Force. And I was like, man, it would be so cool. I've always wanted that. When Slipknot came out with their first record, then they had the deluxe version. That was one of those kind of childhood fantasy things that you have. If I ever make it, I want to have a deluxe version. Yeah. And, I had never stated that to anyone, but the opportunity arose to work with Jonathan Davis. And the label was like, well, instead of doing just singles, why don't we just re-release Narrative? We'll put the acoustic version of Excuse Me on there because we had just been playing around with it.
Oh, you were doing that for radio promotions, right?
We had just man, that was on the spot kind of stuff. We didn't even rehearse it. It wasn't written. It was okay, we'll try it, and it happened. So they were like, yo, record that. The label was like, record that. We were like, all right, we're going to record that. And then they were like, let's put it on a deluxe version. And Narrative Retold. And that was always man, if I ever do a deluxe version of this record, I'm going to do it Narrative Retold. And I wanted to put a lot more songs on there. I wanted to feature a couple rappers and stuff, but we just didn't have the time. So.
But you've got the two new songs on there too, right?
Yes, The Voiceless and The Taste and the acoustic Excuse Me. So, man, it's just every stride that we're taking as a band and everything that we're learning and everything that's happening to us is just a day at a time. Yeah. And, with Narrative Retold, it was just to take it a day at a time, So we got Warped Tour coming up and just a day at a time.
Yes, and I am so excited because part of the reason I love Narrative so much is because it takes you in so many different directions.
Yes.
As a metalhead myself, I love a band that can appreciate all of the different kinds of music that are out there and put them into something and make it their own the way that you guys did.
Appreciate that.
So how do you write musically, in your lyrics and everything? Because I know that's got to come from a place with how powerful all the lyrics are.
Right.
That's got to come from a really big place for you.
Another tying into the reason why it's called Narrative, narrative being your personal story and the way you view your surroundings and the way you relate that through telling a story. But it could be anyone's story because it does come from a very personal place, and it deals with the prison industrial complex. It deals with socioeconomic standards. I didn't really come from much. I'm blessed to have the life that I've had, but we didn't come from the hills, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? We weren't on top of the high rise, so to speak. You know, but I've written a lot of things in just kind of like free thought, and Excuse Me really was just like freestyling. You know?
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was gonna happen with Excuse Me. We were like, man, last song, we gotta finish. We have to write something. It was 2 a.m. in the studio, and then started wilding out, just spitting, you know, and just coming up with whatever. And then Excuse Me came, you know, and so it's just all real personal places that I've been, and as far as, you know, where I've been mentally, where places where I've been emotionally, and where life has taken me. And I thought Narrative was a very fitting name for it. And, you know, the reason why the artwork's got the person facing the kind of urban landscape, it's because the, you know, it just, it can be anyone. It's completely ambiguous. It can be your view on life and how you view it. And if you relate, and if these things and these words make sense to you, then, hey, take it in.
There you go. And that kind of ties into what I was going to ask next, is like, what do you want the main takeaway for fans to be, whether they see you live or whether they pick up the record? Like, what do you want people to associate with Fire from the Gods?
It's always been, there's an not an overshadow, but there's an underlying theme of hope. You know, that no matter what, because, you know, I've been at so many lows, and so many people can understand this. I've had so many highs and so many lows in life, but when the lows come, they come, you know. And,
they're brutal,
and it's brutal, and you don't know if you're gonna make it through sometimes, you know. And it's not me being melodramatic or over dramatic in any way. It's just people understand, you know. Look what happened with Chris Cornell, man. You know, you just don't know. You know, the guy is there. He's on top of the world. He's a phenomenal vocalist. He's a phenomenal person. And then there was some underlying pain that was getting at the guy that he just couldn't take it anymore. So he checked out. But that's where it comes from. That place, you know, that low, and that's where I wrote like Lifeline, man. It literally was a lifeline. I had to find a lifeline because I was committed for a little bit. You know, a lot of friends, and I never really talk about that. But you know, I was at the end of my rope, so to speak. And, you know, you just got to find that. You got to find that energy inside sometimes. And maybe that's what helps propel you. You know, it's not about God. It's not about your money. It's not about your boss. It's not about your president. It's not about any of that S-H-I-T. But, yeah, you just got to find that little spark inside to propel yourself and get out of the rut. And that's what I want people to know, that there's hope, man.
Absolutely.
Don't give up.
And that's part of why I love it so much, is because I love that you touched on it that way, because I also struggle with depression and anxiety and panic attacks and all of that kind of stuff. So to have an album like that is, I go to it whenever I need something to just like help me back out of it.
Yeah.
Or even if I'm just in a mood where I'm like, I'm just angry at the world and I need something to help me, like that's always been there for me. So love Narrative, excited for Retold.
Thank you very much.
Are you guys going to be touring again through here anytime soon?
Just Warped Tour.
Just Warped Tour, so we can catch you on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, that's going to be in Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come out, Ohio.
2 different chances. Go and see him twice.
Ohio, come party.
Absolutely. Again, AJ, you crushed it today.
Thank you
well
so
done.
much,
Best
Hales.
of luck in the future. From
My
Fire
pleasure.
from the Gods, it is Hales for 99.7 The Blitz at Rock on the Range.
Peace.